So you've got the game installed. Now what? So first of all, let's just kind of go over the first part of getting this game. Of course, message of the day is pretty simple and basically gives you a nice little easy way of finding everything. New game, we'll get into this one. This is more of the load. If you already had something, as you can tell, I have some stuff here is what we've set up. So let's back out of that, and then here gets your world, creating a new one, and or the ones that you've already had. So, and let's get out of this one. So in a special tutorial and defense stuff, this is currently on stable E-1, just to give you a reference point. Your help, your credit, and then of course how you do your quit. So let's just kind of go into how you would. So let's just kind of get into. Actually, let me move out of the mouse out of the way a little bit. So again, you would create a world, and then on this one you have a couple different options. You got your world mods, and so as you can see over here, it says mod list and mod load order. So certain things, when you put in different mods and whatnot, you have to make sure that you load them correctly. By default, you get Dark Days Ahead and disabled NPC needs, which is pretty standard for what you need to do. So, I mean, no big surprise there. This is basically, by default, it says NPCs don't need food, so you don't have to continuously, when you first start the game, if you want to have the NPCs, you don't have to go find food for them, which most of the time, we are going to do things that are talking about with basic, the NPC that's there. So, you can look through all of these right here. These are all the ones that are in the standard download if you followed tutorial from the first one. So right now we're not going to do anything, and so world options, this is again would be where everything is. Size of the cities is, again, I don't want to necessarily go through everything on this one, but these are all just how you separate this over. Monster speed, again, increasing the value. It would be at this stage of the game in this tutorial content, you probably don't want to be messing so much with this. Just again, have some fun with it. You're going to, so world handling is just a way to reset. So again, as you can see, just basically reset the size of the cities. This is determined how large the cities are, and if you have them, the road scenarios require a city start. So there's certain ones that, for scenarios that you could choose, that require you to have certain this turned on. So as you see right here, 0 is minimum, 16 is the maximum for this current build. So city spacing, the number of how far between. So that would be like your open roads and out in the woods and stuff that's in between. Again, small number leads to a very small. So again, when you go 0, that means you have less space. It means there's going to be more things. So on this one, lower number is closer together. Higher number means farther apart. Spawn rate factor. Again, this is where you start off with how far out do you want to do. Push this bad boy up if you feel challenging later on. Right now, don't be silly. Just, again, tutorial. You're getting started. Scaling factor for how often the creatures spawn from rotting material. These right here says that you have 1% from rotting material, so you get more creatures from this. Item spawn scale factor, a scale that determines the density of the item spawn. So how you get it and the density of how much is in the spawn area. Not every place is going to be a spawnable location. So like example would be like your cabinets, the bathroom has a couple different spawn areas. You don't look at everything on the ground. Some of the roads will have random spawns as well too, so you can find little bits of, say, car parts. Don't be surprised if you find a tire on the road. In real life, you could possibly see that, but you might actually find a stereo system. You might find other car parts. Let's speed on through this. So the NPC scaling factor, this would be the density of the NPCs. And again, if you want to play with NPCs, this would you go up and it gets a little bit more so that you have a chance to see a little bit more interaction with. Default again is 0.1. Evolutionary factor. Now, how fast do you want to get these bad boys from 0 to heroes? And when I say heroes on this one, it should probably have been said 0 to more villains. I mean, they already can be deadly, but if you don't start off here, this is where if you want to do a minor increase in gameplay difficulty, mess with this one, and you will quickly find that you will find way overwhelming very quickly. Be careful. Monster speed. So if you want to be silly, this is where you go. This is talking about how fast they come moving on to you. You have a set default. This is at 100%. Again, you look on there, 1 is the minimum, 1,000. So you can make them 10 times faster than they are now. Play with this one and understand that this could get you in deep trouble if you mess with it as well. How tough they're going to be, how resilient. So when you take in that nice little knife spear and you're stabby, this one's like he's doing the mamba, and still swinging at you. So again, default region. Again, this is where it determines the shops, the plants, and whatnot. This is a work in progress feature. Use at your own risk. Initial day 8. Initial 8 o'clock in the morning, day 60. And spawn delay, again, how many days after it count? You can go in there and say, hey, spawn delay, and then bam, throw it in there so that you have the evolution that happens. Because every time you do this, it continues the monster evolution. Season length currently right now is 91 days. You can change this up to where you have seasonal changes really fast at 14 to maximum of 127 days. Again, you can do a lot of stuff in one day and be like, hey man, we did all this stuff, and you come to find out you're like, it's only been one day. Or you can say, I'm reading all day, and then you spend all day reading, and in-game time is a day where you are literally like there for a few minutes and you just read a book and busted a whole day. So use your time wisely. Construction scaling. 50 is 2 times faster than default. 200 is 2 times longer. So again, this one's started at here. So 0 automatically construction time to meet the world season. This would be construction time would be coming out like, hey, you have to build something. If you want to do something silly like building and boarding up walls and whatnot, and building that huge base, you can adjust this one to help with that. We're gonna keep this off. Static NPC. Yeah, it's literally what it says. You're gonna have a NPC there or not. So I don't want to go over like everyone, but again, experimental Z levels, it's on by True, and this can be really good if you don't. Experimental Z levels. Careful with this one. If you're an old school player that's coming back, you may not be really on this one. So again, this is so the zombie sees your happy butt when you're up at a higher level. From before, they couldn't. So basically, if you went up 1 Z level, you effectively disappeared. Now, they see you. So yes, they can congregate on the side of a building. You can do the turkey smash and knife down. And yeah, you can actually do really well by climbing up. More on that later. Look for a funny video coming up. We'll do this one, but as you can see right here, you can go dash asterisk, and you can make it do random. Yanktown. Nah, we're not gonna do Yanktown. We're gonna do series because I want to keep it straight so I don't mess around and be on the wrong world. Then be like, ah. So next off, we're just gonna say that you press tab when you're satisfied with the world. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And then there you go. So now you have here. So if you go here, you're like, do I want to do a character from a template, or do I want to start one? So right now, we need to go in and make us a new character. So custom character preset. So again, we are going to do for this one, we are going to do a custom character. And that custom character is going to be in the Tut series. So now we're going through our quick thing. So, alright. So as it says right here, so straight, this is your stats, your stuff, and how it's pulled from. Again, no points, no point limits are enforced. This is your free form. This is where you would say, hey, I want to make a character that's for something. Again, we're going to cover, for the most part, so you get a single point or you can do multiple point. I am going to do multiples just for this one, just because it's kind of like the default to skill. Alright, so here's all the challenges for the scenario. Again, on this one, we are going to cover up just evacuatee, just for the simple reason this is what, these, what's the word I want to look for? These are not for the faint. These are all literally a challenge. So this one takes an effect that you have to do certain things correctly or you're going to die. I mean, can you live on every one of these? Yeah, you can. But some of them are set up so that it is a challenge. And when I say a challenge, they're going to try to eat you alive. The harder it is. So right now, we're just going to go with evacuatee. And so if you go over here, hit enter. So if you look there, we get 6 to 602, which gives it a total of 8 points. So we're going to go over to profession. So I'm not going to go through all these, but I mean, if you go look right now, we're just kind of going to go with survivor just to start off with. But you, it gives you a little bit of having some fun. Some other streamers as well too, do other ones and have a little fun with this scenario stuff. So I would say that, as you can see on the professions, what we're happening here is we have a full list of like the already default mods. That's I'm sorry to say, in the default mod. So on this one, I was looking for one and I forgot that I didn't put the mod on there, and so it's not there. I just am working on some other series because I like doing this. It's a fantastic, fun game. So I'm hoping that my help helps with you. And as you can see on this one right quick, we have the profession traits. There's none, no extra, so you get nothing. So on this one, this is what you get, and they give you a cell phone, a pocket knife, a plastic bottle with clean water, very important, and it's half drunk, and then a matchbook, which gives you 20 uses. Now you have other stuff, so we'll just go with like a tweaker. And if you go tweaker, if you immediately notice it says profession tweaker earns you 2 additional points. The reason why you're doing these 2 different points because it takes more stuff away. So you, as you see here, you're fully dressed. You have socks, shorts, or boxer shorts, jeans, long sleeve shirt, and even a winter coat that's with you. So welcome to the tweaker. You immediately get 2 more points. They take most, so you're in pants, undershirt, and boxers. And you got shoes on. So, and you're going through withdrawal for amphetamines. So it should tell you that it's going to be harder. So it basically gives you nothing to start out with, no crafting. So again, this is where when you pick some of these, you might have some fun, like a crackhead. So you said tank top, a pair of pants, flip flops, a pair of flip flops. So you have a crack pipe, some zipper bag full of stuffy, and a refillable lighter. Which again, some of that scenario based stuff that you like, hey, here's a challenge for you, by all means. So that's enough for that right now. Let's keep this nice and clean, yo. I know it's pretty hard. So let's go ahead and hit tab. Then here again, so melee damage. You will probably have some melee just for the simple reason that you have to account for this, because almost every one of them, they're going to get into range of you have to use some kind of melee. So your dexterity, this is, comes with a range penalty. The higher the one, the less it is. So you can basically get your range penalty, but again, a balanced character, you can set it up. Again, right now we're just kind of going with the default settings, like, hey, what's a good place to do? So I want to cover all these, and then we'll go back and maybe spend a little bit of points and figure out how to do. So perception, and again, this is detecting traps and other things of interest. So this would be like where you walking up and see a trap and you're like, let me not step on that nail board or another trap. which hopefully we'll be covering later. So intelligence, this gives you a bonus to crafting. Now, does it make a big difference? Yes, it can. And if you're going to try to do like a min max, the game is not really set up for being a min max. I know Formathrax, he's currently doing a series for like a min max, and we're hyper focusing on doing that. But most of this game is not doing a lot of min maxing. It's about surviving and enjoying. That's because this game is about you setting goals for yourself. So let's just go ahead and leave them and head over onto the traits. So you have a few things that here, like some of these will give you some interesting benefits. So this lets you know that so on this cannibal, it costs you 1 point because it is a positive side. Now, if you get over here, these are the negative side. So you get to earn more points. So addictive personality, if you select it, you immediately can't use addiction resistant, which would actually cost you a point. So, and then you get the addictive personality, which gains you one. So if you see up on the top, it'll actually give you plus 12. So you have like 10 more points. So if you unselect it, you're like total of 8 points. Now you have 10. So again, these are pick some of your things that So yeah, you're fragile. So your body is extremely fragile. Your HP is 75% lower. Now, if you want to do, there's certain gameplay styles. So faster metabolism, yeah, you're gonna have to eat faster. You're farsighted, which you could take it to get some balance bonus points, and you can find glasses. Now, again, without reading glasses, you're unable to read anything, taking penalties to melee and electronic crafting. However, you're guaranteed to start with a pair of reading glasses. So, I mean, you can take it, and just means that you have to have glasses on, which you can also take damage on, and they can break. And so when they're broken, then you'll have a problem with like reading, and you'll take up penalties for melee accuracy, which may not be too bad depending on the character you want to do. So all of these right here. So again, what I will say is I normally I'll take the ugly one, which again, you're not much to look at. But if you're not interacting with anybody else besides the NPC, and they just think that you're ugly. So again, that gets you an extra point right there, and that's one of the easiest ones. So again, if you don't want to, oh, my bad. Where's the truth teller? There it is. So there's another one that says if you like don't want to play, you just tell the truth, and it's an easy one. If you don't feel like trying to take thin skin, you are higher one. I wouldn't squeamish. I would not take slow learner. Just mean that you're going to go slower. But you would like read stuff and go. I would not probably take slow learner because like your skill grind is going to be even slower. So let's go with glass jaw is another one that I commonly take because your max HP is of your head. Make sure these are easy to counter by putting like a helmet or something on. So I'll take that one. That'll give me 12 points to play around with. Forgetful, so if you're not actively crafting on things, I usually don't take this one. My normal by default is going to be the glass jaw, an ugly glass jaw. It sounds funny, but that's pretty much what it is. Now, just to touch bases with this gives you a way for looking at what your skin tone is. So you get a couple different options. So we're not gonna. That's all up to you. I'm not gonna go over that one. It's pretty self-explanatory. So you can be accomplice sleeper. It means that you're able to fall asleep when you want. So if you get tired and whatnot, you say, "Hey, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna get a knockout," because some of the stuff is going to make it very hard to sleep. So again, a bookworm, there's nothing quite like the smell of books. Books are fun, less boring for you, meaning that you're going to enjoy it, which means you will be doing stuff faster. It is a good one. Reading books and whatnot is a great way to pick up skills. Pack Mule is for the most part almost obsolete on some of this. As far as like the new upcoming updates, right now, yeah, by used to, yes, I would say take this one to help you out because you'll quickly understand that the volume matters. But on the next experimental and stuff, you will quickly find that has they are working it up. I ain't gonna say it like it doesn't matter, but it is getting effectively a nerf from my point of view. So what you could do is substance tolerance. Mm, there is this one a weak scent, mean that you're not as spicy smelled because they track you by sight and by scent. Self-aware. All of this, I I tend to my gameplay for the most part is you are going to, what's the word I'm looking for? So the gameplay, there's almost like all the time that you're going to have to be either destroying something or doing, and it can killer on morale, which at the end of the day, I it hasn't stopped me from doing a lot of stuff, but some of the some of the little sidebar stuff comes up is kind of very dark. Um, so I will say on this one, I would go with maybe a fast healer or a fast learner and a fast reader. So you learn faster, but it causes points. So look, it costs 3 points. So basically, all of the other stuff would be off. So of all of these, I would take the ugly because it is the least kind of offensive of it, and then I would also take say Glassjaw, and then over all of this, Night Vision would be one of the ones that would be probably the best overall, just to get you started, so that you could actually get into say your skills. On this one, I would add 1 point to first aid to get it out of the way, so that you immediately get into some higher level or done. And survival is not, I would not do survival to start off with because it's pretty easy to fabric, to make stuff on that one. So unarmed combat, now rifles I would not be unless you're starting something particularly like you are going for. A lot of the times you're not going to find a lot of your guns like from the get-go, and then you just build them up over time and using them. So bartering, unless you are looking to start a playthrough with NPCs, I would probably stay away from them. Bashing weapons, now this one is one from rocks, sticks to baseball bats and butterflies. Skills increase here. This is probably one of your early ones that you're probably gonna do, and you will build it up rather quickly. So again, most of these you're not going to do, so I would be saving my points. Driving, yes, it is something that you can do, but again, I would not. Fabrication, first aid, fabrication, and maybe tailoring would be. So what I will do is now go back to the stats. So now I would look for maybe something like this, or so I would pump up my strength as best I can. My perception I would stay roughly here, and then say a 10-9-9. This gives you like more resistance. So again, this is going to go dictate by your skills. So we have like one more point that we could do. So we could either do They throw in a penalty for the target, but the range. But again, this one is if you want to end game, but at this point you probably don't know what you're doing. So I would go intelligence just to keep myself going. I'm gonna go with intelligence. But again, at the end of the day, play around with it. This is just a broad guide, and hopefully we're bringing something to you. And so now we come to literally the name, and then you would type in there. Well, we're gonna go with let's go with C Black 47, because why? I don't want to pick somebody else's name. I usually use somebody else's name on like stuff like this, but I'll just use mine. Nope, I hit tab. I have two points left, and I totally forgot. So let's go right back here and let's hit skills. I want to get my fabrication mechanics. So on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and go, because my playthroughs, a lot of my stuff, I like to use vehicles, and it's just the easier it is to get in there to work on the vehicles, the better. So what you could do is take tailoring, and that helps you out with making stuff and repairing your armor, and so that you get there. So you get first aid to help you out, get mechanics to help your vehicles, because otherwise you're running everywhere. And as long as you're staying in one place and whatnot, it's not bad. But I like to go out and moving around. So for me, this is where I say having mechanics get you there quickly. But we'll link off of another like how-to guide that's in there, and hopefully it'll be in there, and I'll remember before I upload and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So again, we're back at this screen. So now we've expended our points. I'm male, so I'm going ahead and play as a male character. That's just personal preference. There's nothing, no real benefit at this point to making anything different. So it just gives you a nice little overall. So again, you're looking at a 10 strength, 9 dexterity, and intelligence, and 9 perception. I got the night vision to help me out with my seeing, and the glass jaw and ugly. So we picked a evacuatee, and profession is a survivor. So we picked up, to 2, we get first aid, mechanics, and tailoring. So on this one, I do believe we are going to go ahead, and you can also switch your starting location. So let's just go ahead and hit, for this, you have 3 different locations. Now these maps get generated, so one doesn't say that you're going to be here, here, or here. So again, this is, unless you're starting a map that's already there, I'm going with 1 just because. And then you hit tab. Are you sure you want to finish? Well, yes. Thank you very much. And lo and behold, here we are. So again, welcome into it. At this point, I'm a big fan of, I would tell you, before you're doing something silly, now here comes what I'm going to tell you, and this is what you want to be. It's a roguelike. This game is made to be kind of a little bit unforgiving, meaning that your choices matter. But again, at the end of the day, you're not playing with somebody else. And if you want to go in and run a debug menu, that is your choice. That is your game. Have fun playing your game. But again, I'm a default. I have played enough that I will hit save, just because I'm also recording this, so I want to make sure that I have a point that I don't have to redo again. And my character, let me zoom in. So actually, hang on. So on that one, what I was actually doing by default is Shift Z, and basically Z brings you in, Shift Z brings you out. And it looks like my character is well, the cargo pants don't exactly look like cargo pants. That is again part of this other thing. But again, that is getting us into right now, getting started. That's what I want to do, is just cover like the basic stuff going around. We are in a shelter that is a slight bit beat up. This is my gameplay style. Rarely do I get to start when a shelter that has these beautiful things called windows I do have windows, I guess you could see, but most of the time they don't have a curtain. So again, your mileage may vary a little bit. Hopefully, you are a better random gen than a little fun. So speaking of, if you would like to come see and hang out with me, for the most part, we have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are playing some kind of game on Twitch, and I'll make sure that I got it linked on the sides. And hopefully, it's something that you enjoy, and I would like to see you come hang out with me and say hi. So here's to you, and have a wonderful day.